Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On today's episode we're going to add a bunch of corals to the Idiot Proof Reef Tank and also do a little bit of minor work on the rockscape. Alright, so as you know, I've been shutting down my main display and I've taken a couple of key little pieces out of there that I want to move over into the Idiot Proof Reef Tank. And I've also been fortunate enough to pick up a couple of little frags from my local fish shop and also a couple from some buddies. So I thought rather than just pop them in the tank and next time you look at it there'll be new corals on there, I figured I might as well get the camera out and show you how I go about attaching these corals in there. So let's jump on into the fish room and let's run through the process. Alrighty, so here we are. I've got the Idiot Proof Reef Tank kicking along really well. My frosted rose bubble tip has split. Happy days. I'm going to give one of those off to a buddy of mine. And hopefully with the one removed from the tank, the other one will puff back up again and get full size and maybe even split again. Here's one of the frags I've already added on. It's a beautiful mummy eye chalice or a watermelon chalice. I can't remember exactly which one. My leather frags are doing great along the bottom. The hammer I put in there a while ago is great. You can see up here this bit of rock work unfortunately came off, and that came off a few weeks ago. That should be on there. I'm going to get, now that I've got the glue out, I may as well attach that bit on. And then I've got a bunch of little pieces of coral from my main display tank that I'd like to get in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just quickly remove this bit of rock and show you what I'm going to use to put it in. I use yellow marine sticky stuff. This is a really thick super glue, completely reef safe. So just going to pop some of that off. It's going to dry the tip of the rock where I want to glue it back on. Alright, so what I've done is I've grabbed a magnet cleaner out of another tank, a big, thick, chunky one, and I've got it in a spot where it'll actually support the rock while we've got the glue on there, so it'll hold it in place while we set this bad boy. So I won't have to hold it there for 5 or 10 minutes, and every time I jiggle it gets loose. So I'm going to pull that rock out, we're going to put a big gob of the glue on, then we'll be able to sit it in place. I'll hold it there with a bit of pressure on it for a couple of minutes myself, but then I'll take my hand out and let the rock support it while it sets. Alright, so I'm just going to squeeze a huge dollop of this sticky stuff from yellow marine glue on there. I want there to be no shortage of glue. Alright, that's a good sized dollop. I'll set the glue aside before I glue my fingers. And then we're going to lower this rock into place. Just going to apply some pressure with my hand for a couple of minutes just to make sure that the glue is really squished in where it needs to be, and then I'll let the rock do all the work. Sorry, not the rock, the magnet cleaner. It'll just support that rock there till it sets completely. Alright, take my hand out, that rock will stay there now, and the magnet cleaner will support that bad boy just until the glue fully sets, because there's a fair bit of overhang on that rock there and I'd hate for it to fall out. We want to get it glued in place. Alright, now the fun part. I've got a bunch of corals here from my main display and also from some friends. This beautiful blue digi here is from Marcus Reef Nerd. He's done a video on my tank shutdown, so be sure to check out his channel. I chucked it in this frag plug here because it's got quite a narrow stem, and these frag plugs have got these beautiful little holes to sit things in, which will help support it. But I might cut the stem of this frag plug off just so that we've got something a little bit less like a golf tee to set it in. So I've just got some cutters. I might just sit the blue digi in there, and I'm just going to hack the stem off this plug. Now we've still got the nice little neat hole for the digi to sit in, but we've got a much more flat surface to work with. What I might do is I might glue this in place, then I'll put the digi in there. So I'm going to have a think of where this could go. I reckon right out here on this tip would be pretty cool. I might even wedge it like in there like that, or maybe we'll go over on this tip. I don't want it to be too close to the bird's nest though. Maybe in there could be a cool spot actually. We might go for that. That looks fairly natural. All right, let's get the trusty yellow marine sticky stuff. What I like to do is just give the thing you're gluing just to dry it off a little bit first, just on the surface that you're gluing. Whack a good gollop on there, technical term, gollop. Put the glue down before I get my fingers, and I'll pop him in that space that I was just talking about. It's a good little... I'll just hold him in place for a second. There's no overhang on this bit, so it's not going to need to be supported. Although I just did give it a good wiggle. Yeah, that'll stay in place. Now I can get the digi-frag and we'll whack him in there. I could also put some glue on this, but the hole in this frag plug is perfect size for the digi, so it should hold onto it okay without needing to glue it. That's looking pretty good there. Sweet. Alright, that's that one down. Now the next coral I got is this beautiful red Monty cap. I picked this up from my local fish shop. I'm thinking I might put that up on that point, so I might leave it till a little bit later just because I want that rock to have as much time as possible to glue. Although down on this point here could be pretty cool. Maybe we'll go for that. Let's just cut the stem off it because I don't want the stem. Alright, now the stem's been cut off. They normally make it fairly easy for them to come off. You get your bone cutters on there and it'll come off without too much struggle. We'll get a bunch of yellow marine sticky stuff on there. Oh, it's good thick glue. This takes a bit of squeezing. Alright, that's a nice gollop there. Gonna go for this point right down here. Should be on the glue there. Yeah, it looks to be. Sweet. Nice. I'm trying to put these in the spot where the tiles aren't overly obvious. Alright, next up, this will be the easiest of all, is a beautiful, it's only a tiny little pup, you'll barely be able to see it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful little bounce shroom from my good friend Ali. I'm just going to pop this bad boy on the sand, so I'm just going to sit him down here, make sure he's nice and away from too much flow. I don't want him floating away, but still getting plenty of light and not near the bubble tips that could sting it, of course. So I literally just sat him down there on the sand. Happy days, he's good to go. All right, now I've got 2 corals left. Well, actually, technically 3 because I've got some Dallas I want to stick into. Some of my trademark Dallas, but I've got a couple of my favorite beautiful bright green toxic candy canes that I want to get in this tank. And I've got some of your more standard purple with green lined candy cane that I want to get in too. So I'm just going to have a bit of a think about where I could put these in the tank. Maybe I will go the Dallas first, just so I've got an idea of where that's going to sit. Just got the Dallas sitting up here at the moment. I might even just find somewhere to just sit the Dallas because I'm not 100% sold that I want Dallas in there all the time just yet. It's tempting because I've got like 1,000 frags of it in my main display, but realistically, I'm not sure if Dallas is the right coral for this tank, although a piece could go there pretty cool. Let's just see where this giant, awkward, fragged piece would go. Even if I can get that to sit up against the back somehow, it'll give us a bit of an instant escape. Cool, I might put a little bit of glue on those 2 pieces just to hold them in place. That will look good. I'll do the same for this bad boy. Yep, that's cool there, great. All right, that's our Dallas in place. Now we got these candy canes. They're gonna be fun because they're quite narrow. They got quite fine little points. I might even need to put some aqua kneaded in first and then find a spot for these guys. But we'll just see how we go. We could potentially get one glued on there. Fork we've got up here and sit. Oh, there's a spot. With a bit of glue, that bad boy will go in there nicely. Just sit him there for now so I remember where I wanted him. We'll try this other blasto frag that I got a while ago from Nick's Aquarium up in Queensland. Really cool store. I'm thinking he might go nicely up on that ledge there. There he's pretty tricky spot to glue it, but we can give it a shot. Does have a little bit of glue on the bottom already, which is set, making it a little bit more difficult. So maybe now I'll get some glue on there and see how that sets. Although I'm thinking over here might work too. Actually, that's the spot. If I can get it to sit there, that's exactly where I want it. So there, he's dangerously close to the bubble tip, so I may end up moving that yet, we'll see. And I've got one more candy cane that And we might go out on this ledge here. I could even zip tie that on there actually, but the zip tie would be a little bit visible, so I'll try and avoid it. Again, looking for a spot that it's going to sit fairly naturally, and then the glue just has to help hold it in place rather than doing something completely unrealistic with the glue. Might get some glue on it, set him there, and see how it goes. Well, that glue is going to just start running towards my fingers, so I'm going to get it in there and down and facing around the other way before it does get onto my fingers. May not have got the glue in the right spot looking at that. I just lifted my finger up to see. It's going to sit there for now. We'll see how it goes over some time. Did I end up gluing the one up there? I don't think I did. I might just leave him sit up there. Nah, we'll put some glue on him. It's too nice of a coral to let it fall. Again, just trying to avoid your fingers, because yellow marine is a good glue, and if it gets on your fingers, they will stick. That candy cane up there is looking great. All right. There's one more coral out of my main display tank that I'm thinking will look really cool in here, so I might go get that and we'll see how it fits in the tank. All right, here we are. I got this beautiful yellow hammer coral, 3 heads, 3 big heads, that is actually mounted very conveniently on a magnet. So I'm gonna get this into the tank and we'll see how she goes. It's not enjoying being out of the water, so I'm gonna move fairly quickly. Alright guys, here it is, the grand reveal. Here is the Idiot Proof Reef Tank with all these gorgeous corals in it. I've got the lights on very blue here with a filter for those who like that. You can see that beautiful yellow hammer mounted up on the back wall via a magnet. The frosted rose bubble tips giving a beautiful contrast. We've got the mummy-eyed chalice, the yellow or toxic green candy canes, the awkward Dallas pieces there, trying to make a bit of an SBS scape. Just turned the lights a little bit more white about the area I like them. You can see the blue digi from Marcus the Reef Nerd. And just so you can get a bit of a better look, I've just taken the top off and turned the flow off so we can have a good top-down look at these corals. I think they look incredible. Not to mention a huge shout out to Ali for the little baby bounce shroom, and Marcus for the blue digi. I'm really happy to have these 2 corals in this tank. Look at that hammer. Man, I'm so happy to have one of them in here. It's just about as yellow as they get. I've got golds in my other tank, but that yellow is something to see. Anyway guys, I'll pretty much leave it at that. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions for myself or even the team at Yellow Marine on how to use glues to set corals in your tank, don't hesitate to pop the questions in the comments section down below. And as always, if you have not yet, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. It really helps me out in this YouTube venture. That's all I want to cover, guys. Hope you're staying safe and keep reefing. But till next time, see you then. Cheers. Bye.